Hi guys, earlier this week we converted fractions to decimals, so now we're going to learn how to go the other way, to go from decimals to fractions. We have a couple steps to help us do this. Okay, the first step is to read the decimal using the correct place value. By that, what I mean is I don't want you guys to say, oh, it's 0.1 or oh, it's 0.5. I want you to use this place value chart down here. And I want you to say, oh, it's 5/10. Okay. If you notice on this place value chart down here, the first one is tenths, the second is hundredths, the third is thousands. We will never ask you to go further than that for this year. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we are going to write the decimal as a fraction and simplify if we're able to, because we always want our fractions to be in simplest form. When we are writing our decimal as a fraction, we're going to look at these. So if we have something that is tenths, so 5/10, when we write tenths, it's something, so some number, over 10 as our fraction. When we have hundredths, it's something over 100. And when we have thousandths, it's something over 1,000. So it's super, super, super important that we know our place values of our decimals so that it makes it a lot easier for us to be able to turn these decimals into fractions. Okay, so now we're going to go to the next slide and we are going to turn some of these decimals into fractions and kind of see how this works. All right, so we are going to do some of these convertings and we're going to make sure to simplify our answers. If you noticed on the top left up here, I did put that decimal place value chart again to kind of help us while we're learning how to do this. Okay, so our first decimal is 0.2, but remember, I'm not going to say it like that. I'm going to say 0 and 2 tenths because there's only one number after the place value. Okay, so tenths means that it's going to be over the number 10. Let me make that a little bit bigger, sorry. Over the number 10. Okay, and we have 2 tenths, so that means we're going to have 2 over 10. And we're going to simplify this just like we always do, okay, because we want to make sure our answers are in simplest form. So we're going to see if there's a greatest common factor between 2 and 10. And there is, it's 2. So we're going to divide by 2 on the top and divide by 2 on the bottom to simplify. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. So my simplified fraction is 1/5. Okay, the next one, I have 0.55, and how I would say that is I would say 0 and 55 hundredths. So because it's the second place value, it is hundredths, so my fraction is going to be over 100. And we're going to put this number right here over 100. So we're going to say 55 over 100 or 55 hundredths. Okay, and again, we're going to try and simplify. So if we have 55 and 100, the greatest common factor. It's 5. So we're going to divide by 5, divide by 5. Okay, 55 divided by 5 is going to be 11, and 100 divided by 5 is 20. So the final answer for that one is 11 over 20. Now we're moving on to some trickier ones, these last two. They're a little bit trickier because they have a whole number. Okay, so just like before, when we were going from fractions to decimals, we're going to leave this whole number alone. Okay, so I'm going to leave this 2 alone. And I'm just going to worry about the decimal part, so the 0.5. Okay, some of you might already know what the simplified version of 0.5 is, but I'm not going to jump there yet. Okay, I'm going to read it the right way. So I'm going to read 2 and 5/10. So that means I'm going to write 5/10. Okay, and what's going to happen is this 2 is just going to go out front here to make a mixed number. So now we have 2 and 5/10. Okay, 5 and 10, the greatest common factor is 5. So we're going to divide by 5, divide by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 10 divided by 5 is 2. And then this whole number just comes straight on over. So our answer is 2 and 1/2. And some of you might have already known that 0.5 was equal to 1/2. And if you did, you could have just jumped straight to the 2.5 over here. Okay, and if you didn't, that's okay too. You did it the way that we just did it. Okay, and the last one down here, again, we have that whole number out front. So I'm just going to stick it out front. And then we have 0.28, which is 28 hundredths is the right way to say it. So we have 7 and 28 hundredths, so 28 over 100. Okay, and if we think about 28 and 100, the greatest common factor between 28 and 100 is going to be 28 and 100. What can we divide 28 and 100 by? Ooh, how about 4? Okay, let's divide by 4. Divide by 4. Okay, 28 divided by 4 is 7. 100 divided by 4 is 25. So we have 7 and 7/25. Okay, when we simplify. So these ones really aren't too bad. You just read the fraction exactly how it tells you to, and then make sure you simplify your answer. Please, please, please make sure your answer is in simplest form, or it will not be correct. So always check and see if there's a greatest common factor. All right, now you guys are going to go back to Schoology, and you guys have an assignment to complete for today.